Just made the bed, and reality check, this is what it looks like most days. It's made, but not perfectly. Christopher sleeps with a pillow between his knees, so we stuff that under the bed. And on my side, there's a wire because for whatever reason, my charger stopped working. I sleep with an extra blanket, so there that is. And some weights because I work out at home. Well, welcome friends. Today, I want to spend a bit of time de-influencing you. I think we all just need a bit of a reality check. Social media has gotten out of hand, and I feel like we have a lot of unrealistic expectations about what our lives, our wardrobes, our homes should look like, largely in part to what we see on social media. When consuming social media, at best, you're seeing just a small fraction of someone's life, but at worst, you see massive amounts of overconsumption, people buying things that they can't really afford, going into debt just to look like they have more than they do. You see perfectly curated, perfectly organized home and wonder how anyone even lives in them. It looks like a model home. Or wardrobes, or people regularly buy hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of clothing. They never seem to wear the same thing twice. Bodies that look perfect, skin without blemishes, people waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. and doing more work in those 3 hours than you seem to be able to do in an entire day. Now, all of that, it's not normal. It's not the reality for most of us. And so today I want to de-influence you a bit. I think it's time for a bit of a reality check. Let's talk about some things that social media may make us feel or think is normal that really aren't. It's messier before it gets better. A spotless home can confirm, especially now that I have a kid, it is totally normal for your home to have some messy spots. And sometimes the whole thing is a mess. We just got back from a trip yesterday and I dumped everything on the counter saying I'm gonna deal with that tomorrow because I need to relax tonight. So yeah, I'm trying to deal with it now, but it gets messy, and tidying is something I am constantly having to stay on top of and doing imperfectly. I say that too as someone who really values having a tidy home. It's totally normal for people to have different levels of what they consider to be a neat, tidy space. I know that I like keeping things clean probably more than the average person. And even so, there are always places in my home that are disorganized, that are messy. This counter is a space that pretty much always has stuff on it. We basically always have some amount of dishes either waiting to be washed or drying and waiting to be put away. Oliver's toys and books, sometimes they're in the basket and on the shelf, sometimes they're here on the floor. And over here too. I'd say there's pretty much always something on this entryway table that needs to be returned or given to someone, returned because somebody forgot it at our house. Our shoe cabinet pretty much never has all of the shoes on the organizer. Some of them are always on the floor. Got some more bags of things needing to be given to people. And that's just a taste. I didn't need to look far in my home to find those spaces. For every clean space you see, there's a messy one. And realistically, half the time you're seeing someone's clean, tidy home. They're probably shooting it from the one angle where it looks tidy. There's probably messes all around. That's normal, so don't feel down on yourself if your home isn't constantly perfectly tidy and organized. I'm big on doing what you can, where you can, and when you have time. Oh, and since I'm doing dishes, not every dish has to be this perfectly curated, beautiful piece. Yes, there are some handmade pottery pieces I love, but we also have mugs and dishes like this that we use all the time. Does not need and isn't normal to be perfectly curated. Then let's talk about homes. I feel like social media has sold us this lie that it's totally normal to live in these massive homes with tons of bedrooms, just so much space for everything. My husband and I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, which has been such a blessing, but it's not huge, especially with us both working from home and now having a baby. There's a lot of things that you may see on social media that we just don't have. Case in point, I'm trying to clean up toys here. We don't have a playroom, a toy room, anything like that. All of our plays and all of his stuff is either in our living room or his nursery. So there are always just going to be toys in here. That's a reality that I have accepted. Also, we now only keep kid-friendly things on our coffee table because he's at the age where he's reaching for everything. Because we only have 3 bedrooms, one now is a nursery, so I don't have an office. So all of my work stuff lives in, I think it's these 4 right here drawers, and that's where I keep all of my office supplies, and I just work wherever I can in the house. If I ever need something as I'm working in the other room, I just come and grab it from welcome to my office. All just lives here. I don't have a dedicated space. Most of the time I'm either working from our living room, the couch, the dining table, or island. Now Christopher does have an office, which you basically never see because I just kind of let him do his thing in this space, but he needs room for his monitor setup, his instruments. He plays keys and the drums, and so all of that lives in here. So you've got his monitors, his instruments. There's a painting he's been working on here, and this room also doubles as a guest bedroom whenever we have people stay with us. So we just keep a mattress in here, pillows in the closet. It would be so great to have a dedicated guest bedroom for when we have people over, an office for myself, but that's just not the realities of the space that we're in. Again, that's normal. Rooms just have to serve multiple purposes, and if we have kids down the road, they'll be sharing a bedroom as well. Okay, wait, hold on. I think Oliver just woke up from his nap. What? Did you have a good sleep? Let's put away all your clothes. You want to play with them as I put them away? Excuse me. Let's stay in here. Uh-huh. Mom trapped you. Oh, I know. You want to get out, don't you? Mm-hmm. Hey, no, we just folded that one. That one has to stay folded. Here. Would you like to play with this shoe? Uh-huh. With a crawling baby, nothing is safe, and you end up doing so many things twice or more. You make me do things a bunch of times. Why? Because Mom just folded, and then you want to unfold, don't you? And then you go through so many clothes in one day. Do you see lemons on that bag? They're lemons. Oh yeah? Thanks for helping Mom put away everything. Well, welcome to my car. I drive a 15-year-old compact car. My husband also drives, I think he's 13 years old. We've had both of our vehicles for years. They are far from new, top of the line, anything like that. We've been making this work for a long time, even with a baby. I feel like online you see every time people are expecting or in preparation for a kid, they'll go out and buy a bigger car. And don't get me wrong, at some point that does become a necessity, but we've been making it work with a baby, with our older small vehicles. Now granted, sometimes one of us needs to sit in the back seat for a longer ride, so we'll be next to the baby because there isn't a ton of room in the passenger seat. But again, we've been making it work. You don't need the newest, fanciest car, even with a kid. Now, eventually we would love to get a nicer, newer vehicle, but we don't want to go into debt just for a car. And so we're slowly saving up money over time to hopefully be able to purchase something newer, nicer in the future. But for now, we're making do with what we have. I would rather make some short-term sacrifices like driving our older vehicles in order to make just better, wiser, long-term financial decisions. Well, back home with groceries, but you know, something else that's not super realistic or representative of, I'd say, most of our homes is, you know, all those restocking videos that you see on TikTok or Instagram of people who have these Pinterest perfect fridges or pantries, and they've got little organizers for every single tiny little item. Not only is it not representative of most of our fridges, our pantries, but it's also not always that practical either. Like, I'll look at some of those videos and pictures and I'll wonder, like, does that actually make your life easier? Or you spend so much time decanting things and trying to make it look perfect that it actually makes your space less user-friendly in the long run. The other day, I was literally watching somebody put milk into a different container just so it would be more aesthetic aesthetic, of that Pinterest perfect look. I just thought to myself, okay, we've taken organization too far. It's no longer working for us or serving us. We're serving the organization, not having the organization serve us. So if you go grocery shopping and didn't buy 5 of a specific snack food so that you could line it up all in a row and make it look perfect, don't worry about that. I'm all about organizing things, but you want to organize in a way that's going to make your life easier, not harder, and that needs to come first before even considering what it looks like. So there we go, fridge is restocked, and of course I try and keep it organized, but you can tell this is a fridge that we actually live in and use. So I just realized that all day I've had this little spot. I'm guessing Oliver drooled on me at some point or something. But that brings up a good point. I feel like we've gotten so used to always seeing pictures and videos of people in these perfectly styled brand new outfits, whether they're going out, lounging around the house, and the brands that they're wearing, all the items cost $100 or more each. It feels like every time you see them, they're never wearing the same thing too even. With haul videos, people are spending hundreds or thousands of dollars at a time. So let's normalize a couple of things. Some days I get dressed, I do my hair, I put on some makeup. Right now I'm rocking a thrifted sweater, thrifted jeans, but a lot of days I'll just put my hair up in a bun. I'm wearing leggings and a sweatshirt, and I'll just go through the entire day like that. Or what happens all the time too is I'll start the day in my cozy clothes, not getting ready, and I'm only getting dressed when I'm about to head out the door. I think something else I've noticed too is these days it feels like trends move at the speed of light, and you're basically supposed to go out and buy an entire new wardrobe every single season. And sometimes it feels even faster than that. I think it really hit me recently when I was looking at buying a pair of jeans. I feel like traditionally the way that we've thought of jeans is they're a wardrobe staple, and you can go out and buy a pair and they should be able to last in your wardrobe for a handful of years until they wear out. But the past couple of years especially, I feel like every single season there is something new or something trending that makes it so that jeans that you were wearing 2 years ago are no longer considered in. Skinny, straight, wide leg, barrel leg, dark wash, light wash, rips, no rips. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like clothing can be fun to experiment with, fun to try new things. I think it can be an expression of your personal style, but I do feel like we're kind of reaching a point where it becomes less about expressing personal style and more just about mindless consumption, really excessive consumption at that, and we just need to slow things down. And so what I've been trying to focus or to refocus on lately is to worry less about what's trendy, what's the new thing, and instead to go back to basics, to really discover, okay, what do I love? What brings me joy? And learning contentment too. I don't always need to be going out and buying tons of new things. A lot of what I have works perfectly well. It's just a helpful reminder. Other things that social media makes look easy. Parenting and having a job is hard. Whether you work full-time, whether you stay at home, whether you do some kind of hybrid daycare, nanny, watch your kid yourself, whatever situation you decide to go with, it's all hard. As parents, we're all doing the best that we can, and we want to provide an amazing environment for our kids to grow up in, but I just want to give a little reality check for anyone who's ever thought that parents on social media just make it look so easy. It's not. Even the easiest kids have hard moments, hard days, or stretches of time too. As a parent, you're always just torn between feeling like you should be spending more time with your kid, you should be being more productive. It often feels like a no-win situation. So here's your reminder that it's hard for everyone. There's so much that you don't see, and the encouragement to you is, I know you're doing your best. so keep at it. You are doing amazing. And just a couple of other things, always having your nails done. Right now I have bare nails, that's how they are a lot of the time. But even when they're done, I'm not getting them done professionally. So expensive, I paint them myself at home. Realistically, with a baby, that has not been happening all that often lately. So let's normalize bare nails. And then one that honestly I'm more self-conscious about personally is I have really thin hair. I feel like everyone I see on social media has this thick, luscious hair that always looks perfect. I think looking at other people's hair is, for me, what looking at skin is for others. It's hard not to get down on your hair, your skin, when you see everyone on social media's skin, hair looking perfect all the time. So if you've ever been made to feel insecure about your body, your hair, your skin, I just want to remind you that you are beautiful exactly the way that you are. We all have things that either we're insecure about now or that we have been in the past, and it's something that we've had to grow and to work through. I've come a long ways in that over the years. I'm not perfect. I think the encouragement here is you're not alone. We all have those things, but it's also something that you can grow into. Learning to love those things about yourself that you might not now. But then while we're in here, let's talk about volume. I feel like we've all seen videos of people who have 30 different blushes, 40 different skincare items. That's not normal. I have a handful of skincare items that I love and use on a daily basis. A couple to switch it up if I feel like it, or if I feel like my skin could benefit from a specific thing. But even this is more than I normally have. You don't need a lot, and more than a couple of daily essentials is really a waste of money. It's just not necessary. So there we go, real life look. This is how I probably look at least 50% of days. Actually, let me change it into my lounge clothes for the complete effect. Got my cozy sweatshirt and leggings. There we go, me in my natural habitat. Okay, and I feel like we've really just scratched the surface of all of the things that we need to almost reprogram our brains with, that we need to de-influence ourselves with. But I figured I would end this just by sharing some of your responses. I asked you all on Instagram, what are some of the things that social media makes look normal that really aren't? You guys had some great responses. There are so many common themes here, so I want to read some of them for you. Someone says that social media makes it look normal to have these elaborate, expensive birthdays for kids. And I'll say I've seen the same thing with baby showers, with wedding showers, parties that look like they cost hundreds or thousands of dollars. That's not normal. Some of you said social media makes it look like people feel happy all the time and don't worry about things like money, having kids, buying a house, traveling all the time, multiple international vacations a year. And then I'm seeing things like constant hauls, pristinely cleaned houses. Ooh, this is a good one. The high level of effort people put into each meal. Sometimes breakfast is just a granola bar. That's real. I mean, I could go on, but whatever some of those things are that you've thought to yourself when consuming social media, you're not alone. We're all right there with you. So I think let's leave it there, but I really hope that this has given you a much needed just reminder and perspective on what is normal. I realize as I say that too, that what's normal for me is going to be different than what's normal for you. And in a lot of ways, I am so incredibly blessed. We have 2 cars, used and old or not. We have a house, which is something I'm so incredibly grateful for. But again, I just want to go back to that reminder from the beginning that whatever it is that you're seeing, it's just a part of someone's life. There are a lot of deep joys and struggles that you're just never going to get to see because social media really is just a glimpse of the full picture. And hopefully I've been able to help remind you of that. If there's an encouragement or takeaway from this, it's don't compare your life, your home, and all of its rawness and messiness to someone else's highly curated, highly edited part that you see on social media. We're all on our own journeys, our own paths, and we're going to experience the most happiness and joy when we can just love in all of its imperfections the life that we've been given. Okay, I really hope my heart came through in that, but now I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you've noticed that social media make look normal that really aren't? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts, your perspectives. Let's de-influence each other. Until next time, friends, thank you so much for watching, for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.